We're gonna do a song that you never heard before. The volume.
Here they come and get wicked. Here we go again.
What's good? What's good? What's good? It's your boy Ace Kennedy. You know how we do it. It's the Slash Brothers podcast. And yeah, we got a lot to talk about today. Charles will be on shortly. You know how that Atlanta Wi-Fi is. So it's just me and you right now, which is cool. Because I did want to talk about a couple of things. Like I said, we got a lot to talk about. This is Slash Brothers podcast. Your boy Ace Kennedy, Ace Fields. If you guys haven't figured that out, Chicago Bears in the building. Yo, but before we get into the Chicago Bears, I must say, you guys know I'm a huge Russell Westbrook fan, and today he was introduced as a Laker, and just to hear him speak has me excited for the season. Yes, I am a Thunder fan. I'm going to root for the Thunder. I want the Thunder to win it all. But realistically, if there's going to be a time that another team wins a championship, I'm definitely rooting for the Lakers to do something big because of Russell Westbrook, because of Carmelo Anthony. But to hear him talk, he said, you know, basically he's willing to listen, to learn, because he's coming into a storied franchise that he grew up wanting to be a part of. The fact that he's back in LA, he gets to see his family all the time, his mom, his dad, his wife, his kids. It's that extra motivation to get him to go to work every morning. He's renewed. Him and Bron and AD had conversations about how they're gonna, you know, do their thing together. Frank Vogel seems very positive on the group being together, on the fact that they have this opportunity to actually return back to get an 18th championship for the Los Angeles Lakers. It's an exciting time. They talked about the vets. They talked about the age of the team. They talked about just everybody being so super excited about this franchise. But while I continue this conversation, let me bring in my boy real quick. Y'all know him. Y'all love him. My boy.
Hey, Kennedy, my brother from another mother. What's happening, man?
Good, brother.
Man, just as soon as I'm sitting here trying to go ahead and hit the green light on over here, we had like a little, I felt like it was like a little lightning strike, power surge. My lights flickered, and then my Wi-Fi, everything disconnected though, man. So I was like, oh my gosh.
You know how that Atlanta Wi-Fi be doing, but like, yeah. So like
it's
I was
usually
saying,
undefeated, man.
Yeah.
What's good? What I missed though?
Oh, I'm still talking about Russ. Still talking about Russ being introduced as a Laker today. And he's just talking about his excitement, his renewed confidence in the fact that he's getting to be at home, getting to see his wife and kids on a regular basis, mom and dad, and even, you know, being that beacon of light for some of the kids, because he grew up in a boys and girls club. And so he gets to give back to that 100%. And, you know, he's focused and he's great, you know, grateful for everything that he's learned. Both the Rob Pelinka and Frank Vogel are very, very high on him being able to be Russ. They talked about, you know, his triple doubles in the beginning versus his triple doubles at the end. Like, everybody knows the player that they brought into LA. So it's not like they're coming in with this unrealistic expectation of what the team could be. They really seem focused. Everybody seems to be on the same page. And I believe that this is going to work better than a lot of people think it's going to work. I think that for me, for everything that I've seen with Russell Westbrook in his game, I truly, honestly believe he's going to gel well and be able to give LeBron the rest he needs to be able to sustain him throughout the season and beyond. So I'm super excited. He looks excited. I like that he went back to 0. I know 4 means something to him, but I like that he went back to 0 because I don't know, man. I like Russell Westbrook. That's my dude, bro. That's the player that I love to watch. He's a great dude. I'm glad I got the opportunity to meet him. And yeah, I'm excited. Like I said, I'm not a Lakers fan, but I'm a Russell Westbrook fan. And even Melo going back.
Let me ask you this though. Let me ask you this though. Here's a question I have for you. So I understand that as a fan of yours, right? That as a fan of Russell, I'm a fan of Russell as well. Not as much of a Melo fan, but I do like to see all-time greats at least get their chance to get one of those rings. So for Melo to go, I'm glad that, you know what I'm saying, that he's at one of those teams who are expected to be a top contender. Same with Russ. I mean, especially after the Washington, I appreciate the Washington experience and experiment and everything like that. That aside, from basketball reasons, though, there was a report that the Lakers were originally also trying to get Buddy Hield, right? Mm-hmm. Which traditionally with LeBron would have made sense because every other year in the past, LeBron has always surrounded LeBron with shooters. Buddy Hield was the second leader, made threes behind Steph Curry this year. I think he may have took the most threes, but also made the second most. So my thing is that from a fit perspective, do you like that better than Russ?
100%.
Or do you like the Russ better?
No, I like that because they also brought in other shooters. And here's the other thing. There is a report out that they are still in the runnings of getting Buddy Hield. There looks like there's trying to be like a three-team trade that would include Ben Simmons, and they're working on trying to get Siakam out to Sacramento. And then Buddy Hield would then go to the Lakers, and then so that's the thing.
Who would the Lakers give up or get? Like who would they give up?
That part I don't know. I see. That's what I'm saying. Like I don't know the details behind it, but what it is Sacramento is the one that's pushing it. So I think I don't know if it's picks involved or whatever. But what I'm saying is Sacramento is the one that's got their what's up, Cap. Sacramento has their foot on the gas trying to get Ben Simmons and Siakam because they are trying to be another California team, being in some sort of running to win. So there's pressure in that organization to win. So that's what they're pushing for. And again, that would send Buddy Hield to the Lakers some kind of way. I don't know the details on that.
But I think what I do find to be interesting though, right, is that here's one of the things that you and I kind of go back and forth about, right? Because Ben Simmons apparently has completely ghosted the 76ers, right?
Yeah.
And I feel some kind of way about it. Like I understand that as a player, you know what I'm saying, you got a limited window and limited power. And the only thing that you can do to wield that power is to not show up or threaten to not show up, right? So I get that. And especially like you said, Russell basically said, hey, y'all had this rumor out there with Siakam or trying to get Siakam. Y'all might as well just go ahead and trade me. Whatever it is, once your name is being caught up in rumors, right? But I think it's funny to me though that Ben Simmons is basically saying, "Nah, I'm not showing up at all." Like it's just weird to think that, bro. People almost point to you as a primary source of why these boys didn't win, and so it's like now you also are. I don't know how you go back after that. Like if you don't show up, I don't know how you go back.
100%. I mean, when the organization shows that they completely have no faith in you, you have to you have to believe in yourself. Here's my thing. I told you from day one, I grew up in the same era like you where it was loyalty to teams, right? Well, teams aren't loyal anymore. So the thing is that I'm riding with the players. When they want to leave, let them leave. And the thing is that because when a team is done with you, as we've seen with Ricky Rubio, as we've seen with other players who are loyal to an organization, and then they just ship them off when they're done with them. And so from that aspect, if Ben Simmons is like, no, you guys showed me that you completely do not have any respect for me, and you don't believe in me, you don't think that I bring value to the team, nah, I'm sitting out. Y'all boys can trade me.
Hey, listen, I think the thing that I find to be interesting though, right, about that is the fact that, think about this, all right, there was a report that Ben Simmons could have gone to the Clippers, right? Wouldn't it be ironic that he would go to do you think about that? Ty Lue stepped up and basically made these adjustments that they said Doc Rivers couldn't make in game. All right, so then he takes him a step further with that roster. Then now Doc Rivers gets to Philly and practically runs Ben Simmons out of town. Ben Simmons then goes to the Clippers of all places, right? And I know that he automatically makes him better than Pat Bev at once. So I think that if you're the Clippers, you got some pieces that I think you can give up to get Ben Simmons, which I think then it makes me think, bro, that the Clippers with Ben Simmons, if Kawhi played this season some, right, which they say his injury isn't just season ending, but I don't think Kawhi gonna play. But if you get Kawhi, Paul George, and Ben Simmons out there, I think that that's a pretty defensively, bro. That's a dope lineup, man.
Yeah. Well,
you literally have three guys. You literally have three guys that are all NBA and all NBA offense and defense in the same lineup, bro. That's dope.
Well, before we get into some more stuff, bro, we gotta get this music popping off.
I thought I missed that.
It doesn't matter what your name is.
The Slash Brothers Podcast, the greatest podcast of all time. The Slash Brothers Podcast, the greatest podcast of all time.
Yep.
The Slash Brothers Podcast, the greatest podcast of all time. The Slash Brothers Podcast, the greatest podcast of all time.
Yep.
Yo, Ace Kennedy. So here's what's funny, man. So I always have I've always seen, so I'm sitting here while I'm sitting here trying to get everything situated. And I always am mind blown about how when people say when you go through and buy something from DoorDash, how you might go there and you're sitting here and you think like, oh, okay, you know what I'm about to buy from DoorDash is $50, right? And so then you fool around, and after you say everything is all summed up, your DoorDash be like $100-some. And I don't order from DoorDash like that to know what people what they say about how that's the case. So I'm looking here, trying to last minute order something from DoorDash, and my total of something costs $53, right? Of the food that I have. Sounds cool, it's fine, right? And I'm looking here and it says my total is $80, bro. I was like, wait a minute, DoorDash, y'all killing me, because it says there's a delivery fee. I get it, right?
Convenience fee.
Then there's the delivery fee. Then there's the service fee of $8. And then there's the taxes of $4 on that. And then outside of the taxes on that, then it's still a tip that you include. That's on mine is 11, 13, 12. So overall, I'm paying for some food that costs $53. I end up paying $85 for it, though, bro. I'm not fooling with DoorDash, bro. I go pick that up myself, man.
That's you sound like me, because see, Sarah and Samaya are big on some doggone DoorDash, bro. And I'd be like, listen, I'll go pick it up, man. Y'all can get your boy that $30.
Listen, bro, I'm blown away, because I was just sitting here thinking like, oh, you know what, man? I was going, when we do the so usually, right, when throughout the week on the podcast days, Neek is typically responsible for dinner then, because I pretty much am responsible every other day, basically, right? Mm-hmm. So I'm sitting here thinking like, okay, well, she has a last minute meeting that she has to do, can't shake it. I get it. So I was like, okay, well, I got the pod, and she tells me this right when I'm setting up for the pod. It's all fine. So I was like, yeah, let me just go ahead, do the DoorDash, because I could have on my way out just slid by Zaxby's, whatever, grab something. It's cool. But I was thinking, like, you know what, man, we get Zaxby's all the time. It's like we got primarily 3 places that we eat at all the time, dude. We all the time eat at Zaxby's, Panda Express, and Chipotle. Them like the 3 places if we eat. And usually, right, while I'm typically cooking dinner, you know, and listen, man, I'm cooking almost every day, so I'm cool with eating out, right? Especially during the pandemic is what made me more okay with eating out, because there was a point where everything was shut down, so I was cooking every single day, and so now I'm like, man, so I'm thinking like, all right, I wouldn't mind having a change to what I typically get, but I'm thinking like, let's chili sound good, right? And I'm sitting here looking like $30 more, like what? Boy, y'all better go somewhere, man. I'm like, I'll go pick that on up, man, at that. For free.
2 of them places y'all eat at regularly are nasty anyway. So I'm glad you.
What's that? Hold up, what's that?
Panda Express and Zaxby's is nasty.
You smoking that Huckabee early, bro. You smoking that Huck. Listen.
Hey, hold on. Before you go anywhere. Dog, when Tisha said that she don't tip, bro, I don't know why that felt like she said that she take a bath like Ashton Kutcher and them, bro. That's what it felt like. She said that.
Oh my god. I over tip. So, how are all these people not bathing, bro? Get the hell out of here. But like, seriously.
I got some friends that do the same thing, bro. They take baths like every other day, bro.
Hey, listen. Okay. Let's talk about this, Ace. Let me get off of this. Let me get off of doing that, because we didn't plan on talking about this. But let's
talk about nothing. We just do it.
Let's listen, Ace Kennedy. I'm gonna be completely honest, right? Part of me taking baths centers around the possibility that I might get the cakes.
100%.
Right. Listen, you gotta take a bath. That's a granted. I'm not, regardless of what you say your frequency is, right? That's it. You gotta take a bath. But for me, 80% of the reason why I'm taking a bath centers around the possibility, and it might not happen, but the possibility that I might get the cakes. And so I'm thinking like, dog, I might be sitting in drawers, and don't let me be wearing pants all day long. Like when I was in the office, going to the office, now I'm shorts, I'm cool. But dog, if I'm wearing pants all day long, you mean to tell me you sitting here swamp balling it for a day, and then the second day you say, all right, you know what? You got your lady, she trying to come off the cake, and you've been swamping it the whole time, like. Dog, stop playing, bro.
You've been swamping it too, brother. And my thing is, here's the thing. And I think there was, who was it? Jake Gyllenhaal that just came out and said he was like that too.
I don't like that, Ace.
Was it Jake Gyllenhaal? Don't let me quote that man like that. Who was it? It was another celebrity that just but here's the thing. I to each his own, because I don't live with.
Are there any black celebrities who say it on baby dating?
I ain't seen that come out yet. That's gonna be.
I don't want to. Not that. Listen, I don't want to get us canceled behind any sensitive topics here, but I would be surprised if I saw any black or Latinos say that they don't take no baths every day. Like, I've never heard of that before, and so the fact that it's a trendy thing that people just don't wash their ass there, man, that's.
Yeah, bro. It's Jake Gyllenhaal, bro.
He said Lil Nas X. Boy, you better
y'all better leave Lil Nas X. Y'all always messing with that young man.
Lil Nas X comes up every time, bro.
Lil Nas X come up for anything, bro.
I'm gonna tell you. Let me tell you who comes up. Who comes up to me in everything? Lil Nas X comes up all the time. Whack 100. Comes up every single time.
Hold on, man.
And Meek Mills comes up every single time, bro.
Another segue, bro. I'm sorry. I know we all over the place, but we ain't got to talk in a while. I watched the Whack 100 and 6ix9ine interview.
The Clubhouse.
No, the one on what's what's my boy name? Well, not my boy, but Academic started his own podcast now. He's doing like the Slash Brothers. And so his first guest was Whack 100 and Snitch 9. And they were talking. And I mean, Act didn't even have to be there because I mean they were pretty much talking. It was pretty interesting. I got to watch probably about 2 hours of it. It's a 3-hour interview. But they were talking about they were addressing it, but I'm saying it went by because you know, especially when you working and you just listening to something. So it's one of those things like they was just going into the whole deal about the Snitch 9 situation and why he did what and if he's a gangster or not. And Whack was not, he was keeping it a bean with him. And yeah, it was crazy. But okay, but back to
what did Whack say? No. What did Whack say? But since we're saying that, what did Whack say?
So he basically was like, listen, bro, you a civilian. He said you are not a gangster, bro. He said you just reported on some gangster stuff. Like you were a gangster by affiliation. You didn't really do that work. Like you didn't. He said you got to understand. I've had every level in that division. I was a foot soldier all the way up to where I am now. So I can tell you that these things that happened, you are not. Nah, you're not a gangster, bro. You're a civilian. And he said, and academics, you a civilian. He said, you a civilian that stay in the church civilian. He said, anybody that's trying to put some gangster stuff on academics, you need to be slapped because he is a reporter. Like he's a civilian.
See, here's the thing. So when Wax says that, right, he's subbing Meek because he always has something to say, right? Because he said that about Meek before, right? When he said Meek, you know what I'm saying? You need to just stop because we saw what happened after you was talking about this, that with the boy 6ix9ine, and then you saw him and none of that was the case. But I find it interesting though, man, because Whack 100 isn't an artist, but he stays pretty much in hip hop news because even just not that long ago, like a couple days ago, man, he was in Club Room. I don't have an iPhone. They in Clubhouse and they're arguing him, 6ix9ine and 21 Savage, and he's basically 21. They talking about fighting, of course. And so he was like, "Nah, let me just stop you right there, though, bro. Like you don't want none of this work. I will whip your tail. I will come out to Atlanta. You can come out here. We can go ahead and make that happen." And he was like on blood. So 21 says, "I ain't a blood, bro." And it's funny because I'm sitting here thinking like I would be very conscious about what I say in conversation with 6ix9ine, seeing that you have a history of if it gets hot, you will drop names, right? So if I'm talking to him, bro, I just want to know the only conversations I can have with 6ix9ine is like, yo, man, what you see on sale at Home Depot? You know what I'm saying? Did you find some? Target got a good deal on laundry detergent. Like, I don't want to talk to him about nothing that has to do with anything that's going to be considered criminal because your history says that you will give up not anybody, but you will cross lines that gangsters are supposed to not go when you're involved with those kind of things as well. So
they addressed all of that, and he explained why he said what he said. And so again, the interview is out there. It's interesting just to hear. I mean, not like people. Here's the thing: people can say all they want that they don't care about said individual, right? But if he's speaking about, you want to know, well, why? Okay. And so to hear him actually explain why, and to hear him explain, what his definition of a gangster is and why he feels like he's gangster. It's an interesting conversation. I mean, it is very heated the whole time. So if you like drama, it's for you.
Why does he say, since you're talking about him, why does he think he's a gangster?
He says being a gangster means taking care of people. And so
get out of my face. All right. Get out of my face.
And that's exactly what Whack.
Get out of my face.
He said, bro, that doesn't make you a gangster. That makes you responsible. Yeah. It was a good interview, though. You got to check it out, though.
No. I'm cool with your summary because, like I said, bro, if he wants to tell me about a good restaurant to check out if I was in New York, I'll be cool. If you want to say these are some cool, tourist kind of things you could do in New York, that's cool. But outside of that, there's nothing at all to me when you go there, bro. Like there's nothing at all that we can discuss that involves anything that could be perceived as criminal activity, right? It doesn't matter. Like, no, bro, you can tell me who got the best ice cream shops, something that's safe though, bro. But outside of that, and listen, that's not even to say that I get into those kind of things anyway. But either way, there's no reason for me to talk to you about that.
No,
that's my point.
I get that. Yeah,
but I find it funny that you said Whack 100 though, because Whack, he stays the same way how Lil Nas X always get brought up. Whack 100 is going to be right behind him. And Whack's not an artist, but his name is always active, bro.
I like the fact of he believes what he believes, and he's like his conviction behind his belief and where he comes from. Because so that 6ix9ine had like 4 other people there with him, and they weren't like security; they were just some dudes that rode with him. Because that was another thing. It was like, bro, because Ack was like, bro, I think you need to be walking around here with some security. Like, you got people ready to tap you. He was like, man, I'll be out here. He said, I was just in the club with 21 Savage last night. He was like, that's why I was late to the interview. And so he said, this is how I move. So Whack was asking him a question. He was like, do you think, I want to say John Gotti, I'm just for sake of this conversation, let's just say John Gotti. He said, yo, do you think, he was talking to one of 6ix9ine's dudes. He's like, do you think John Gotti would mess with 6ix9ine after this whole thing? And dude was like, yeah. He said, see, the fact that you said that, he said, I ain't saying nothing else to you in life. He said, I ain't got nothing else to say to you because you one of them dudes that's one of the peons that was running behind him because he had that money. He said, see, what you don't understand, 6ix9ine, is that you not a gangster, bro. The people that you had around you, those dudes were the ones that was living in their auntie's house and they didn't have nothing. You had that bag. So because you had a bag, then yeah, they was willing to do stuff for you. So, but man, look, since we talking about interviews, man, what's up with your boy? Wilding Out boy.
So listen, I thought that I wanted to get something by you. And this is something that's kind of interesting because we talked about Nick Cannon, and I think from our perspective, we admire a lot of things about what Nick Cannon does, right? But the interview that he had with Breakfast Club, very interesting, enlightening, because I think that they talked about a variety of topics from, of course, everybody wants to talk about his rapping versus his talent, right? But one of the things that I thought that was interesting though, bro, is because they did bring up him and the kids, right? You know what I'm saying? And he was talking about, having the multiple kids and everything like that and what's that's about. And I think that one of the things that he said that was just interesting, and maybe this is because I've been brainwashed. I don't want to speak for you, but I think that you follow the same belief that of what he kind of considered to be the Eurocentric, right? Eurocentric meaning that it's one man, one woman. You know what I'm saying? And you kind of go into this relationship almost like a pact or some kind of agreement to just be with that person. And he was just like, that's a very European kind of thought process that kind of manifested its way into America with the American ideologies. And that's just it though. But he was just like, in other cultures, apparently, other cultures that there are, especially Middle Eastern, there are, they have guys have several wives, right? But I thought it was interesting, right, to thinking of that outside of the box, right? Thinking outside of, like, in terms of not necessarily marriage, right? But relationships, right? Like, what if you felt strongly enough about somebody, right? To where you said, hey, you know what? I could have a relationship with this person for the rest of my life. I would be perfectly fine with them being in my life for the rest of my life, and they not necessarily have to be your wife, right? This is somebody who you might have. This might be somebody you might have a sexual relationship or whatever the case is. In his case, it is, right? But it had me thinking though, man, like, do you think that it's maybe that we're old fashioned in the sense that that I still would look to say, no, ideally for me, it's you're with the man, you're with the woman that's committed, right? Versus his standpoint of saying, no, these are women apparently who he have significant relationships with, and that he purposely wanted to have kids with them, right? Could you see yourself saying, you know what? I do want to have, I don't necessarily, we don't have to be married, but I want to have kids with you, right? Like, is that too far left to make a normal thing?
No, I think that his relationship and his beliefs that works for him and the women that he were involved with. Like he said, every person that he's with, they understand what they're going into. Nick said, like, listen, right now, monogamy is not me. Like, that's just not for me. He said, I like variety. I'm paraphrasing because he didn't, but ultimately he said he likes variety. He's not into he said, listen, but at the same time, because of his medical condition, which he has lupus, is public knowledge. And he said, I go through vigorous things for my medical. So I check myself all the time. And so he said, when I'm in a relationship, he said, yeah, you start out using condoms and stuff like that. And over time, once you have been in a relationship for a while, eventually you have unprotected sex and you run you understand that these things can happen. So all of these females that I have kids with, they understand what it is beforehand. And he said, I love kids, and anybody that knows me, I'm there for practices. I'm there for games and recitals and everything else when it comes to kids. So for him, that works for him. I don't think it's necessarily old fashioned to believe that a man and a woman should just be married and that's what it is. I don't think that's old fashioned. I just think that there are other ways to look at relationships. And that's going to continue to change because people are always evolving. And so at the end of the day, I just think that whatever relationship you have, it has to work for both parties, because even in a normal man and woman relationship, there's issues if there's not understanding. So who am I to say that if a person has a relationship with somebody else and they have an understanding that works for them, who am I to say something about that? That ain't got nothing to do with me.
Let me ask you this though. Here's one of the questions that I have for you, right? As a guy who has multiple baby mamas, right? But you were married to both of them, right? I guess what I want is that, could you see yourself saying, like, all right, you know what? The goal isn't marriage with this woman. The goal here, right? Or what's more obtainable is for me to have a kid with her.
Yeah, but me, I'm definitely into relationships. Like you say, I fall in love quick. So that's not for me. I love to be in a relationship. You, on the other hand, if you ever got divorced, I could see you slinging babies around.
You think so, man? Like babies?
Yeah, because I think for
get
one,
that wood, bro. But I don't know about just letting.
No. I see you. Let me explain. Since you taking it to the extreme, I don't think that you would just be out here just slinging it around like you get a baby. You ain't gonna be Oprah in that out here. I just think that at the same time, right, you love kids, and so I think that it wouldn't be an issue for you to have kids with women that you have an understanding with. I can see you following the Nick Cannon thing to a degree, because you're a creature of habit. You don't like to change anything. Like you're the epitome of a creature of habit. Like you don't like to change anything. I mean, we've had conversations just about the program that we run our studio software off of that you didn't like. You are meticulous about stuff, but I do think at the same time, if you weren't in a relationship, that certain things you would relax a little bit. You won't be like as fluent as Nick Cannon because you ain't got that Nick Cannon money yet up until that Bel Air 3 drop. But I do believe that
sales are still going on for the Bel Air 2, so that's not a closed door just yet. But listen, I don't know, man. Like, I think, to be honest with you, man, I think that the part that this is the thing that I look at, right? I think that for me, I don't know, man. Like, I guess I wouldn't necessarily close the door, especially because it's like these days, right? The reason why I wouldn't say I would close the door, because let's just say I stepped out tomorrow and it was single, right? I think that I got one kid, right? And I think that for me, if you come across somebody who doesn't have any right? Then I would think, okay, yeah, that's a possibility, even at me with my sore knees at whatever age in the 40s, though, bro. I still feel young enough, right, to have I still feel young enough to where I would have time for an infant, you know what I'm saying? But starting over, that's 45, right? Let's say I gotta feel that comfortable with somebody. That's probably the biggest thing. It's not the kids. And so for that reason, like, yeah, I would be cool. I would definitely be more cool. I've always been more cool with having kids. It's the relationships with the co-parent that I would have the issue with. So it's like I would have 5, 6, 7 kids. It's just like if you're starting over, it's like that's 5, 6 relationships with people that I'm just like, I don't know that I would necessarily, like, somebody might say, oh, you know what, we would have a great kid together. But if I don't have that kind of rapport with them, that would be like, that would be a big deal. And that's the reason why, money or not, I couldn't do the Nick Cannon route, just because to me, it's like, I don't know that I don't know that I'm willing to be that cool with somebody else that far along in life. That's what I'm saying. 45 though, bro, that's a long time to still be, you know what I'm saying, shooting up the club with people who are still fairly new in my life, right? Especially brand new people. Think about that though, right? I mean, you and I.
But how you know they brand new people though? That's what I'm saying. You don't know how long these people have been
You
in
could be you there could, you know, you could go back. You could, I guess you could backtrack. But I guess what I'm saying though is that even still, like, brand new, you think about that though, right? For a second. When was the last time you met somebody who was brand new in any capacity that you're everyday friends with now? Like, it doesn't happen.
It happens to me a lot.
That you're everyday friends with.
Mm-hmm.
Who was the last person?
I mean, there's a couple people that I've met at church who I never knew them before. And now we communicate on a daily basis. And that's happened multiple times. Like, I mean, I'm just a people person. And so my thing is that now it hasn't went into any other lane, but I'm saying, like, just the answer to your question of meeting new people. Yeah. But in my inner circle, no, there hasn't been anybody new that has made it to the inner circle.
Well, see, that's the thing. And that's what I mean, right? For me, I guess to me, I'm so much of a, like you said, so much of a creature of routine that it takes a lot for something new to get into that routine, that course set, that inner circle. So I think that's what I'm saying though, to do the Nick Cannon so loosely, you know what I'm saying? Like, I don't know what that would look like for me, but I do find it interesting though, man, that I think that he is very much, I can appreciate the outside of the box and outside of what most people would consider to be traditional. I think that he doesn't look like it's like it don't like, hey, Nick Cannon just having all these kids. It's not like a thing that's an embarrassment kind of thing about whatsoever. It's like, no, this is the plan. This is I'm good with this. It ain't like, no, it wasn't no accidents. You know what I'm saying? So I respect that though, man.
And let's not forget, Nick Cannon has the money, bro. Like he said, you know, none of his kids are gonna be hurting for nothing. He set himself up quite well to where his kids are gonna be taken care of.
Yeah. Now I think that it is something to be said about that though, man. But I mean, even then though, man, like there are people who are not as well off doing the same Nick Cannon routine, right? And they some make it work, some don't. You know what I'm saying? Like I think that Charlotte Lowe had like 11 kids and like 10 baby moms though, bro. He had a TV show that they were trying to pitch, basically, where he had all of his baby moms and all of his kids, and it was somewhere like around 11 to 12 kids and like 10 moms though, bro. Like that's insane though, bro.
Hey, whatever works.
Yeah. Listen, I think that one of the things that we was talking about here as well, though, man, that we've been kind of loosely following. I wanted to see what's up, because you know we were talking about Andrew Cuomo, New York governor, we've been talking about these accusations, and apparently the accusations had to be bigger because he resigned today, though, bro.
Accusations?
The accusations.
I don't know what you're saying, but yeah, whatever you say.
Phone accusations.
Okay, there we go.
I'm a phone. My joint must be fading out though. But listen, so these accusations that he have, I'm wondering, is it? So this is the thing: is the resignation an admission of guilt, or if this him doing what somebody told him is the right thing to do?
No, he's doing he's doing what is the right thing to do from somebody else's perspective, because obviously he doesn't think what he did was wrong, and it is a matter of opinion. And I'm not saying that the women are lying, because I wasn't there, but what I am saying is if he believed that he did anything wrong earlier, he would have resigned earlier. I think it's just so much pressure on him right now, and him being in New York, that it's one of those things that he felt best to take the attention off of him and to move on. The thing is that honestly, like we talked about, we just think he's just an older man that just, like flirting, and it just was inappropriate in a particular place, in a workplace. So it's just one of those things.
Okay, Ace Kennedy. Okay. The segues. Okay. So for starters, the irony, before we segue, I think the irony in this is that with him resigning due to sexual harassment accusations from female employees, is that now New York has the first female governor in the state's history. I think that is some kind of irony. But listen, I think that so when growing up, man, I think that you've seen in movies, and it's always been insinuated that, like guys typically have a female secretary, or that there are always females. And so as far as he's concerned, this is status quo. This is like a normal thing. I'm going to assume, because he's an older, probably single guy, I believe now, right? So he's probably thinking this, like, not that sexual harassment was ever an okay thing, right? But this is pretty high level, because there were people who were talking, like, because of his handling of COVID, that he could be as high as being at least a candidate for presidency when they were talking way back. And here it is now, right? That he got these kind of accusations, and now it's like, all right, bro, you got to resign. So is this like a sign that times really are a changing?
Times are changing. There's so many things that are changing on a regular basis. You and I talked just recently about, look at all the sports teams that had some sort of Native American heritage, a part of their team's history, that have changed. The Cleveland Indians, the Washington Redskins, all of these organizations have decided to move on from that because of the negative connotation that has come along with those names of those teams. So you and I were talking, what is the way that you sit down on the ground with your legs crossed? What is that called?
Sitting Indian style.
Got to change it. It's got to go.
Got to change. So listen, Ace Kennedy, all my life, if you sat down with your legs crossed, and if I tell you Indian style, anybody who's my age know what sitting Indian style looks like.
Right.
I got a question though. I've never thought about it. Do Indians, Native Americans, do they find that offensive? Like, this whole time, when we refer to that as sitting Indian style, have we been pissing somebody off with this the whole entire time?
Bro, I have no idea, but bro, it goes further than that. Charles Venus.
Yes, sir.
If I give you something and take it back, what is that called?
Indian giver. You took it from me, and you
gotta change it.
Hey, I've never met an Indian who's ever gave me something and took it back.
But you know where it comes from?
No. I know what it is. I don't know what it comes from.
comes from.
I don't know any Native Americans. I don't know the story of any Native American. And I'm big on history, bro. I've never known any Native American story that substantiated the term Indian giver. Like, but that's Indian. That's my whole life. It's been Indian. So what? So okay, who has done that? What is another? What can we replace Indian giving with? Because who's actually gave Americans? Ain't that what we do? Ain't that what the history of the history of the United States is? The Indian givers. Isn't that irony? Isn't that irony in itself that it's an American thing to say Indian givers and Americans are the real Indian givers, bro?
Right. That's what I'm saying. Listen, we got to change it.
Listen, Ace Kennedy, think about this. Okay. Think about this when you talk about Indian givers. Okay, so the United States bought land or made a pact with Indians, right? And then took it away from them. And even in Georgia, from Georgia all the way out to Oklahoma, when they made all of these Indians, there's a sign out here, Indians, Native Americans. I'm trying to be peaceful.
I know. I'm just trying to
listen. I don't want to. I want to know. Let me get to that in a second. But listen, there's a start in somewhere around Macon, all the way to there's a trail of tears is what I'm trying to say, where they made the Native Americans that were in Georgia and some that were in Florida basically walk because they took their land that they agreed upon and had these people walk all the way to the reservations in Oklahoma, gave them all of Oklahoma, and then said, no, we're going to give you a corner of it.
Charles, the Oklahoma Sooners, there's a story behind the Sooners. Like, that's something else about stealing land. Like, yeah, bro, like.
What is the Sooners about? I never cared about.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Like, I don't
even know what Boomer Sooner. It sounds so stupid that I never even cared.
It is stupid. It's so stupid. But here's the thing, right? And that's another thing. Why are they crying because they can't throw horns down anymore? I'm like, bro, y'all, and they trying to blame it on Texas. Like, Texas don't care when y'all throw horns down because you look stupid. And I love when people throw their horns down in front of me because I got the perfect thing to say to them to make them never want to do it again around me. But either way, yeah, I don't know the story of the Sooners. I'd have to look that up because Sarah told it to me. Somebody else told it to me, but it's about stealing land. It's like the first person.
I thought that the Sooners were. I thought the Sooners were some of the first people who were starting to settle that far Midwest for Oklahoma, like the Oklahoman original settlers. That was it.
But I thought it had something to do with stealing some land too, though.
Bruh. Listen, but I do find it. Here's the other thing. What I would love to know is that do Native Americans prefer to be called Indians or Native Americans? Because when we went to Tunica and you almost died over the grand buffet out in Tunica, right? I think that was the Choctaw tribe of Native Americans. So they do call themselves Native Americans, right? But I don't know, but Indians, right? I know that they wanted the Cleveland Indians. I mean, Cleveland Indians changed the name, but I don't know, man. Are Native Americans offended by being called Indians or
I don't know. Now, how do you feel about, what do you prefer, being called Black or being called African American?
I prefer to be called Black. And I'm going to tell you the reason why. The reason why I prefer to be called Black is because being an African American, the term didn't exist until like the early 80s, right? And I feel like to me, like, not to say that I'm disregarding the African heritage, but I do look at that and say in maybe in other countries, you know what I'm saying, how you may be Congolese, French, you know what I'm saying, that you might go to all these other countries and you're whatever your, origin. I think that as Black, as this American, right, those people who are from those other areas, they're not that far removed from their native countries before they took this identity or this race in their current. So like when you're French and you have all these Africans there that live in France, from these different, they are natives from there. Some of them grew there, but they're not there. But I think that as Black people, we're so far removed from Africa that no, I prefer to be called Black. And to me, I feel like being called a Black American, it's empowering. You got to have balls to call me Black. And I respect that if you call me Black. But to call me an African American, I think that that's just being too PC to me. Call me Black.
Bro, that's throwing me off. She said,
but Indian giver is in the dictionary. It is in the dictionary. No joke. It's no cap. It is in. But and listen, when you read the dictionary description of Indian giver, it's everything that we know it to be. But then here's the thing, though. When you sit Indian style, what are we calling it now?
Hey man, we going
all
the
way of saying sitting Indian style.
We going all the way Star Wars, bro. You sitting Yoda style, bro. You sitting Jedi style. You got to pick one of them, bro.
Sitting Yoda style.
Yeah.
That sounds kind of cool though.
Yeah, Yoda style. I like that.
Sitting Yoda style.
Yeah, but
crisscross applesauce sound like you talking to some 3 years old.
Yeah,
crisscross.
Yeah,
I know exactly what you mean by crisscross applesauce.
Yeah, but Yoda style sound.
Crisscross applesauce. That's a.
Listen, that'd be something.
If we're yes, like if we are all in a room and you say, "Hey man, let's go ahead and make some space on here. Let's sit crisscross applesauce." Bro, I'll be like, if you don't get your, I'm a man. I'm 40. Don't tell me to sit crisscross applesauce, bro. Like, stop playing with me though, man.
Yo,
but listen, so here's my thing. No, go ahead.
I was just gonna say Mark is a fool. He said, "Yo, when we used to play Ninja Knocking," he said, "We got to change that too." And then what was our Caucasian friends calling it?
I don't know.
Ding dong ditch. They was calling it ding dong ditch.
Ding dong ditch. I do remember people calling the ding dong ditch. But this is my thing. So even still, here's a question. Here's a question I got for you, Ace. Okay, so listen. Now that things are getting so PC, right? Okay. Is it, and here's a theory, is it our generation that is correcting the wrongs of our generation? Follow where I'm going with this, right? So back in our day, right, it was Indian giver, right? We knew exactly what Indian giver was. When you said, "Oh, that's so gay," we all knew what you meant. We didn't think that it meant that you were a homosexual. It was just you saying something is gay was just, and I can understand that nobody, it was offensive, but nobody had offensive intent when they were saying it, right?
No,
it was the equivalent of saying lame. But
you remember back in the day too, right? We used to say people was retarded. Back in the day, we used to say people was retarded. We used to call people faggots, and it didn't mean none of that. Oh my
gosh. No, listen. There was an episode I remember an episode on Saved by the Bell, bro, where Zach and Slater, they was like, "Oh, you just slow today." They were like, "Ugh." Right. And I was thinking, like, what in the world? Like, that would never fly, right? And that was just a normal thing, right? I'm talking about our generation set the stage for so much unacceptable behavior according to today's standard, right? Like here's the thing that's crazy to me, right? So when we talk about that, right? So you got the that's gay, you got the retarded. We called the homie Cripple T, and that was just regular.
Was Cripple T. Like
that's called the homie Cripple T.
Bro, it took me forever to know that boy name was Terrence. Because didn't he introduce him as Cripple T?
I don't know, but somebody introduced him to me as Cripple T. But either way, though, but I'm saying like that, you go back and you watch Revenge of the Nerds, right?
Right.
And And basically the whole theme of Revenge of the Nerds, you watch the entire episode. I mean, the entire movie. They got they put a hole in, they got a camera in the girls' bathroom, right? So you could go through and watch the girls shower up. You got one scene in Revenge of the Nerds where one of the dudes on there was he put on a suit and pretended to be somebody else, smashes the girl, tricks her basically. You got the homeboy Preston who was on there popping the lock, and he was there. He was on there flaming it up, and you knew that he was gay on there, right? And I'm saying, like, everything about that movie, which is one of the, which during our time, right? That was boys being boys. That to me is what I thought going to college was about. Like, you go to parties and there's people there, even in all the movies now. I mean, back then when you were in high school and you were drinking, and that was a regular thing that you just go and you go to parties and you get wasted. Like, that was, and I'm just sitting here thinking, like, bro, fast forward.
Or there's movies, like you said, there where you intentionally got the girls liquored up or spiked their drink.
You spiked the drinks on purpose. Like, that was
normal, bro.
So my thing is this, though, right? Is it now our generation who recognize the wrong and the things that we're taught and are now trying to correct those things, right? Like, I think that now that we're old enough to know better, and now that our generation is having kids, maybe we're looking back and say, some of this stuff that we thought was normal was just foul, though, bro.
It's not our generation, bro, because it's our generation just getting caught up. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, we're having to learn, like, we can see it and be like, I think right now, the only
American Pie.
Yeah.
Listen to me. Listen. Let me say this real quick. American Pie, right? With the most famous scene of American Pie was when he was filming Nadia getting undressed and ran to his boy's spot so that they could see it, and they popping popcorn and they all doing it, and then they say, "You got to get in there. You got to get in there, Hank." So he runs back to slide. And I'm thinking, like, bro, like, so much of it was just, but listen, I say the reason why our generation is correcting this, because now people that are of our age, right, are the people who are now assuming roles in government, right? Well, we're still looked at as the younger folks in government terms, right? But now that we're in those positions now to call those things out, I know that, yeah, we're helping with some of the new millennials, which I'm not gonna lie.
That's what I'm saying, bro. I don't think it's our generation that's calling it out. I think it's the younger generation that's calling it out. Like, you look at how Kevin Hart got caught up, right, with his jokes. You know what I'm saying? We're all saying, like, yo, y'all being overly sensitive about stuff because y'all couldn't grow up in our generation. It's not our generation that's catching it. We are just now opening our eyes. Like I said, I think the only one that we're gonna have a problem with letting go is wife beater. Like, wife beater, I just don't know is going.
Hey, remember, what about when people just saying later on in life, "Hey, man, kill yourself"?
Right.
What?
All the time.
What? Kill yourself?
Yes.
Dog. You can't say, and that was fairly recent. That was like in the early 2000s. Kill yourself. Dog.
Bro, kids, listen, this is the reason why kids didn't tell their parents. Like, they would say, "Oh, I want to kill myself," so like they would do it then. Like, we used to tell I'm gonna jump off a bit, do it.
Oh my gosh, man. I just sit there and, man, I think, bro, I'm not gonna lie. Part of me thinks that some of these millennials are so wussified, bro, and are so fluffy, sissified that they look for a reason to be offended. I think a lot of these millennials are so soft that they just look for it. Like, every single, they soft as cottonelle, bro. And I think that it's just maybe that sensitivity is needed, you know what I'm saying, on some levels, man. But I can't lie though, man. Like, you couldn't necessarily think about that though, bro. Like bullying, you know what I'm saying? Like when we were in high school, you know, you had bullying and everything like that. And then the big thing is that, you know, like, listen, bro, the way you handle the bully is that you got to fight the bully,
Right.
or you got to show up with a squad, bro. And
right.
then
Well, the thing was, because your dad used to tell you, if you come home crying, I'm gonna whoop you. Like it was a thing. Like you had to be tough. Let me ask you this,
or you want to face me?
Right. Let me ask you this: Can the fraternities and sororities still haze people now?
I don't know. I think that they do stuff like that on the low.
But
I don't know. I think that they do it on the low.
I mean, there ain't nothing really on the low no more. That's the thing, because it's like, hey, if something happened and they get reported, and it's so much. It's so much.
I'm gonna be honest with you though, man. I like here's my thing. I personally, if I went to join a frat, I am going there. Listen, okay, time out. The thing that I can't get with is any kind of hazing that has to do with you sticking something in somebody else's butt. I think that's just lame, right? And to be quite honest with you, Ace, that's gay. I don't want to get us canceled, but I think that is gay, right? Isn't that is that? So I never understood that part of it. But with all things considered, I say that because I had originally planned to join Omega Psi Phi. And I went into it knowing that they haze. I was going to go into it knowing, and the only reason why I didn't do it right off the cuff was at the school that I went through. They didn't have a chapter at the time. But part of me wanting to go to college and get into college experience was to actually go there to pledge. And so I was going fully knowledgeable that this was the process, right? And whatever it was, I was willing to go there though. So that was that. That was that though, man. But it didn't work itself out though. But I think that the hazing part, I think that to them, I've always considered the hazing part is just making sure you were built for that particular frat though. So,
yeah. Yeah, Charles went to Troy and I went to the University of Phoenix.
Before I went to Troy, I went to Shriner College that was out in Kerrville, and it was a private school that was way outside of San Antonio, and they didn't have any frats, not any black ones anyway, though. So that was that tossed mine out though, man. So,
bro, real quick. So you remember I was talking about the boy Dennis Schroeder. Last year he turned down the $84 million for 4 years for the Lakers. And now the Lakers is out here doing their thing, right? So the Celtics finally picked up your boy. 1 year deal, $5.9 million deal.
Now listen, man, I've never seen, and never in my life have I seen somebody overplay their hand. It's probably the worst case of betting on yourself that I think I've ever seen. I can't think of another time, bro, where I've seen somebody bet on themselves and was confident betting on himself, because there were some rumors that he wanted to make at least $100 million contract go, right? And I told you, I'm hit or miss when it comes to Schroeder. Like, I particularly didn't care. Oh my gosh, Spreewell that's a good point. Spreewell may have been the last one that I think overplayed their hand.
What happened with Spreewell?
Spreewell, basically, they offered Spreewell a contract at the time of somewhere like around $10, $15 million a year. And it was a nice contract. And then his response to it was that he couldn't feed his family on that. Like, he got bills. And I think that he was like out of the league, like within a couple of years of not signing this fairly nice contract. And so when you think back about it now with Schroeder, I don't say Melo, because I think Melo, the league phased Melo, tried to phase him out.
They tried.
They tried to wash Melo out, man. But I think that what I'm saying is I can't remember a time in any sport, bro. Now that I think about it, bro, I can't remember a time in any sport where someone turned down so much money at the prospect, or that they felt, no, I can get more money than that. And that was it. And that is a good point, though, Mark. DeMarcus Cousins did turn down like a $20-some million a year deal with the Pelicans. It got hurt the very next time. But he was thinking if he didn't get hurt, he would have. But Schroeder's not even hurt. You can't even blame health on that, though.
And it's sad because it's all because of everybody looks at what have you done for me lately. Because let's be honest, Dennis Schroeder was a good player for the Oklahoma City Thunder. And unfortunately, when we started our rebuild, he wasn't a part of that. And so the fact that he went to the Lakers and they didn't have the season they thought they were going to have, he stopped playing really good right after he contracted COVID. So
he
it's
averaged 15 a game still.
I mean, I get it. So that's the thing, though. What teams look at, though, they say, well, if you putting up 15 a game, we'll pay you $15 million a year.
Here's the thing, right? So here's the interesting thing. I don't know why Schroeder was expecting to get that much because I understood that he was dope coming off the bench, right? But at the same time, Trez Harrell came off the bench. He won Sixth Man of the Year. And everybody thought, oh, Trez is about to get him a big bag. And then he just signed with the Lakers basically for like a mid-year player exception or something like that.
They scrubbed him out too, because look at him.
Scrubbed him out too. And
the Lakers scrubbed him out.
It's always about fit, right? It's saying, you know what? Like, it wouldn't surprise me that when Trez goes to Washington, he plays there. He's going to average about 16, at least 16 a game, and he'll average at least 9 rebounds if he starts. If he comes off the bench, 7. But I think that Schroeder's going to give you what Schroeder does. But I just think that how valuable is that to you?
But right? he still did it right though. Like even though he blew the $84 million, he did it right by doing a 1-year deal. He can go to Boston. He's on a fairly decent team. He can ball out, and then from that point, he can get his money. So
I don't think so, Ace. Listen,
I think it's gonna happen, man. I bet
he's not gonna get another $85 million contract offer.
It depends on what he does, bro. That's what I'm saying. If he outperforms this year, the thing is,
Schroeder can average 30 points a game, and I guarantee you, he won't get an $85 million contract, bro.
I mean, you might be right, but you also he's close to your to your Tony Parker too. So it's hard to take your opinion on that.
I don't know, which is another thing too.
You ain't like Dennis Schroeder since he was in Atlanta.
I didn't like Schroeder because I liked Jeff Teague, and they traded Jeff Teague to play Schroeder more. I understood it, but I don't know. That's
what I'm saying. He came to the Thunder and balled out, though.
You know what it is. You know, here's the thing. When I see him play, I'm never wowed by anything he does. That's
the thing. You didn't watch the Thunder play when he was on the team. You were so concerned about Lou Dort that you wasn't even looking at him.
I saw my boy Lou Dort. Lou Dort was balling, and he left. As soon as Schroeder left, Lou Dort stepped up.
Bro, why do you think the Lakers wanted Dennis Schroeder? It's because he balled out with the Thunder.
I'm gonna be honest with you. They wanted him because I think that ideally, right, they traded for him after Rondo basically told them, "Nah, y'all got to pay me more." I think that they got him as a second, like a plan B. So I don't think that he was like number one. He was the best available option outside of Rondo. I think that they really wanted to run it back. But I don't know. That's me reading in between the lines. In between the lines. But listen, I think that either way, though, man, like I said, I don't remember seeing anybody. Oh, you know what? You know who may have overplayed their hand? Antonio Brown may have overplayed his hand. Probably the worst I've seen since before Schroeder was Antonio Brown getting him a little bag at the Raiders, finding out that the Raiders were actually trash, and then taking a smaller deal to go to the Patriots, messing up at the Patriots, and now you're playing on a $1 million contract after you were just a $15-20 million a year wide receiver, and now you're playing for the league minimum. Like that, to me, is overplaying your hand and overplaying your worth. I think Schroeder looked at that 17 points that he was scoring at OKC and thought, no, what the going average is for those players. Oh, Le'Veon Bell is also that he is a close. I forgot about him.
Hey,
goodness gracious!
Are you firing your agent? If you Dennis Schroeder.
I'm firing him ASAP, bro. I'm getting him the hell up out of there, bro.
Oh yeah, I'm hiring Rich.
Get rich. Oh no, you can't get Rich Paul because he was LeBron and them. And LeBron was who helped. Listen, LeBron tried to help get you to 85, and you turned that down. So you can't get with LeBron people, bro. Yeah, LeBron like no. Hey, listen.
What's up, bro?
I wanted to talk about some music stuff real quick because there's been two big things. So man, listen, and I see Brittany Rowe where you're going with that because Adams got $100 million for 4 years, and I think it's because his impact on those teams warranted that, especially when there were other guys. When you saw, for example, Al Horford get paid way more than that, you got to think, all right, Al Horford really threw everybody for a loop. He been out there finessing the league though for a hot minute though, bro.
Yeah, but he went to the Thunder and rebuilt his career.
Brittany Rowe. Yeah, but still, I don't know. But listen, last week, Brittany Rowe slid it in there real on the lowski that Aaliyah's estate, allowed has approved, and her music now is available on all streaming platforms. For some reason, I guess I just haven't looked for like the Aaliyah, put in Aaliyah in, any of it. It's been, and I'm a big Aaliyah fan. I guess I still have the Aaliyah CDs. That's what's crazy to me. That's how old I go back with that. But I think that's a pretty big deal, though, man. And the other thing, too, man, that I wanted to get your thoughts on was that just today, man, Chucky Thompson, bad boy, hitman, passed away, though, bro. I was like blown away because I literally was just hearing somebody say that they was looking forward to working with him, though, bro. I was like completely shocked, though, man. Hitman, original Hitman, bro.
Yeah, I saw that run across my phone, and big shock to the industry. And I'm sure Diddy's probably, I'm sure Diddy's taking it pretty hard. I'm sure Mary J's taking it pretty hard. And man, it is crazy out here as far as how many people are, and he lost his battle to COVID, I believe.
Let me tell you some of the songs that he did. This is gonna seem crazy because I almost forgot about this. All the time I think of you, holding on to someone new. Don't make me lose my mind. I was like, yeah, I forgot about that. Then he also was the producer on Big Papa. He was the one on the You Used to Love Me. As Soon as I Get Home. He did the remix of One Sweet Day. He did oh my gosh. He did Caramel Kisses from Faith Evans. He was very heavily on the Mary album. He did Until We Rich on the Bone Biggie featuring Crazy Bone. He did some production on Maya's first album, bro. He did and that was actually Ice Cube in him. Ice Cube and Crazy Bone, I meant. But he did a lot of work with Mary J, though, bro. Did some of the stuff like he was a hitman, and if you remember, man, hitman synonymous with the bad boy sound of the 90s, though, man. A lot of them, the 90s, 2000s sounds that everybody always say, oh yeah, you know what, man, I love me some. If it don't sound like 90s R&B, I don't want it. Like this was one of those people, though, man, who back in those days, back in that day was instrumental in that 90s sound, though. But specifically, when Diddy was doing the whole flipping the 80s songs with the samples and flipping them into hip hop songs, though, man. So Chucky was definitely involved with that. But I was very surprised, though, man, because I think that I definitely saw. I follow Mary J on Instagram, and I saw her saying that she was looking to do something with him. What else he did, man? He did Flavor in Your Ear, bro. Which is also crazy. He did If I Was Your Girlfriend from TLC. He got a catalog. I mean, very, very big catalog, bro. And I'm thinking, like, You know what I'm saying? For the people who love that night, Dead. I think he produced Dead Wrong, Biggie. Like he got some bangers though, bro. So
Yeah, that's crazy, bro. It's gonna definitely a big loss. Did he ever produce with Stevie J?
yeah, he was one of the Hitman.
Okay.
Hitman was D. Dot, Chucky Thompson, Stevie J. Which, by the way, I think that my favorite Aaliyah song is the
4-page letter.
no Let Me Know.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's my favorite Aaliyah song. You know,
Aaliyah was the official music contributor to Sequence, bro.
oh my gosh, I love when 4-page letter came out. Listen, when 4-page letter came out, I was gonna say If Your Girl Only Knew was probably like it's in my top 5 Aaliyahs. 4-page letter, Are You That Somebody?
Are You That Somebody is up there.
Yeah, Are You That Somebody? Listen, when I listen, this is the thing that I think that was crazy though, bro. Is that when I just remember when 1 in a Million came out was right around the time where you was getting all of them free albums from what's that, Columbia House?
But it wasn't free, but you
Yeah,
should.
you know. We was getting them free. We was getting that free music from there. So
I
yeah.
can't believe we was making mixtapes on tapes.
Making mixtapes on tapes. That's funny to me when people say that. Oh yeah, they got somebody mixtape came out, and there's a whole generation that don't even remember or would never have seen.
Nah, but we used to basically make our dance routines off a CD and make it onto a tape. Like
burn it from a CD to a tape.
It was
then have
it
to
was
go tape
chopped
by
up.
tape. Yeah, chop by chop, tape by tape to do it on one though, man. So it's funny, Rock the Boat and Back and Forth probably weren't my favorite ones. They probably are on the bottom 20 of my favorite Aaliyah songs, but Let Me Know, Age Ain't Nothing But a Number. I was big. I was a big. Listen, I got to be honest. I think I was as big. I'm gonna say I was as big of an Aaliyah fan as I am a Beyonce fan. The only difference is that we saw Aaliyah. Well, I mean, it gets very much like Beyonce is our age, right? So we've been watching her as someone who's a peer. And I think Aaliyah was a little older. And so even then, for us, you know what I'm saying, we were in middle school and she was like high school. So she was just those couple of years and everything like that. But yeah. Man, Aaliyah was dope. She used to have all the girls coming to school like Janae and them with the little swoop over the eye, though. The light-skinned girls was in because of Aaliyah, though, bro. So
yeah, with them belly shirts.
I love me some Aaliyah. And Aaliyah is what I think about also when I think about the 90s style of dress when girls had everything baggy to where you couldn't really tell who had the cakes because everybody kept it baggy though, bro. So I don't know, but I love me some Aaliyah. Love me.
Yeah, boy. What's her name? Janae's whole crew, bro. You remember Jones?
Oh yeah, she had all the high yellows though, bro.
Yeah.
All the fine high yellows is
Marie,
in one crew.
Rosa.
Yes. All the high yellows in one squad, bro.
Yeah.
Manisha was in there. Yeah.
Yeah. Manisha Hodges. Nicole Pettis.
Yep. So I don't know, man. But it's interesting though, bro. Very interesting though, man. But those are musically though, bro. I saw those are the two things. So there's a lot going on. I love seeing that people are back to doing festivals. People are doing live performances though, and everything like that. So it's dope. It's real dope, man.
Yeah, man, bro. We could talk for hours, bro. We ain't even scratched the surface, and we could be talking for hours.
And apparently, I still got to run out to go pick up some food since this doggone DoorDash charging $30 for delivery. That big guy on my face there.
Yeah, man. Hey, I'm gonna have to check that verses out. I hear everybody talking about it, man.
I've been trying to tell you, Ace. I've been trying to tell you. If you'd have spent 3 hours on watching Snitch 9, bro, yeah, it's definitely
No, I'm gonna. I told you I'm gonna check it out. I wasn't playing.
Yeah,
and everybody talked about the recap of Fat Joe too.
Fat Joe's recap. Fat Joe's recap is epic. Yeah. Hey, what the week look like for you, man?
Hey, now that the big piece of everything is back home, you know, that's just trying to get reoriented. But school starts this week for us. 'Cause the kids go back to school tomorrow. So I took the girls to go get their vans today. They bought some new vans, which that was an experience within itself. And then I'm chilling, bro. Yeah, I ain't got nothing because my studio computer is down. My new motherboard will be here Thursday, so I'm getting that installed this weekend. So hopefully that is what was wrong with it, and then I'll be back on the block. So that's the only thing for me is just praying my studio come back because that's got everything in it, everything. So Brittany Rose supposed to be.
I think what I'm trying to do.
Okay. Brittany Rose supposed to be sending me her stuff so I can mix her. Go ahead.
Listen, I was gonna say what I'm trying to do is that now I finally have found my theme here for this editing this video, bro. So now I think I'm gonna go ahead and probably like maybe even since I got this week, by the end of this week, I'm gonna have the performance scenes down pack already lined on up for the timeline. And then
I saw your new edit.
Mine. Yeah. I like the black and white joint though, man. It's dope. So I think that I'm gonna go ahead and I now that I know that, I think that I'm gonna shoot mine. And so I think I know how I'm gonna end up shooting it though, bro. So yeah, it's gonna be real live though, man.
That's what's up, man.
Yeah.
All right.
Man, on that note, listen, if you haven't already, be sure to like and subscribe to the Slash Brothers YouTube and Facebook page. All episodes we're streaming live on both, and we're trying to find a new, probably exclusive home for the Slash Brothers podcast on a streaming platform. But for the time being, you can catch us where you catch us. Ace Kennedy, you got that music queued up over there?
It doesn't matter what your name is.
The Slash Brothers podcast, the greatest podcast of all time. The Slash Brothers podcast, the greatest podcast.
Can you dig it, sucker?